out, they go slide.
I'm reading some of the announcement blogs and announcement posts on various sites that Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is going to be 60 FPS on the consoles. While we're talking about Tomb Raider and the graphical improvements being made to it, I'm just going to say that the PC game, the PC version looks better and runs faster, and you're all a bunch of peasants and you need to go home and cry about it. But what's kind of shocking to me is just the amount of just like I don't use the term console peasant ever to describe literal people who are on consoles. But the stereotype of the fucking just console peasant, like the person who shills out to the consoles over and over again and makes claims that don't make any sense. Like, there are some literal examples, I'm just going to pull one here, of people saying that they like 30 FPS better and 30 FPS is better and blah, 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 blah. I've got this guy who's just defending the lack of graphical fidelity and defending the low frame rate. Like, oh, the hair tress effects is so ugly and out of place. After going through the mud and dirt, her hair looks like she just got out of the salon with fans working around the hour all over her head. For 30 FPS and 60 FPS, I prefer 30 FPS because we all know next-gen only games will have to be in 30 FPS, so why spoil yourself by getting used to 60 FPS in a third-person game? Going from playing in high frames to playing in low frames is not easy. PC gamers' constant FPS bitching is proof. What? You know, third-person games are actually harder to render, right? Because you've got the whole environment as well as your character model, which has to be a pretty well done character model because you're going to be staring at it for a while. A third-person game is just as hard as, if not harder on than, a first-person game because you're rendering more stuff. That, and in a first-person game on console, they lock down the fucking FOV to like 60 so you can't see anything, so you're barely rendering anything in the first place. First-person games are actually a little bit easier to render in some cases. Second of all, you can agree or disagree with the hair tress effects, but I just think it's funny that the consoles absolutely cannot handle it. And to the guy saying he would gladly pay full price to get the definitive edition, even though he's bought the real thing, it's like paying $60 for Halo Combat Evolved, and then paying, $60 again for the HD remake that came out later, which I bet some people still would have done. There's a guy saying that he would pay full price for a fucking HD remake, and he's saying that, if you care about 60 or 30 FPS, then you have my pity. Dude, it's not about that. It's about the fact that the next-gen consoles you were promised are not as powerful as you think they are, and they can't handle the software that you're trying to run. And then here's this peasant. Jesus, gentlemen, you don't need 60 FPS for this game while playing with pad. I play this bad boy on PC with 60 FPS just because it feels much better with the mouse and keyboard, but glad 1080p with nice graphics. Sweet locked at 30 FPS are good enough. What? No. What are you, a fucking half peasant? Anything less than 60 FPS is completely unacceptable. That's why I have 2 graphics cards. Have a nice day, peasant. At the end of the day, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is a re-release of a not as good looking game from the old consoles to a better looking game on the new consoles. Well, that's not altogether a bad thing. You have to take into account that this is one of the things that makes PC way better. I can play Tomb Raider on an old PC on shitty settings and then get a new PC and play it when it's looking at its best, instead of having to pay for another HD remake. Why isn't PC getting Definitive Edition? Because we don't fucking need it. It looks good for us anyway.